Jimin's POV. The morning felt quieter than usual, but not in a peaceful way. It felt like something was missing, or maybe something was about to change. I stood by the counter longer than I needed to, just staring at the kettle before turning it on. Steam slowly rose into the air, fogging the edges of my thoughts. Jungkook had already left early this morning. He didn't say much. He rarely did, but today something felt off. I pressed my lips together, trying not to think too deeply about it, because whenever I did, I always ended up thinking about him. My phone buzzed on the table. I glanced at it quickly. A message from one of the company staff. "You'll be attending the small industry event tonight. Dress formally." I stared at it for a moment longer than I should. Have an event. Crowds, people watching, smiling, pretending. I wasn't in the mood for any of it, but I didn't have a choice. Jimin's soft sigh. Okay. I set the phone down. I didn't notice my fingers trembling slightly. Jungkook's POV. I shouldn't have looked up. That was the first mistake. The meeting room was full of people, voices blending together, papers being passed around, words I wasn't fully listening to. And then I saw him, Jimin, on the screen in the conference preview. He was scheduled for the same event tonight. I stared at the name longer than I should have. Something tight formed in my chest. Not discomfort, not irritation, something sharper. A voice beside me laughed. Female, familiar, too close, Jungkook. You've been distracted all day. I turned, slightly. She smiled at me, soft, confident, leaning just a little too comfortably near my space. I didn't respond. She tilted her head. You're going to the event tonight too, right? We should go together. I nodded, absent-mindedly. But my mind wasn't on her. It was on him, Jimin, and the way he always looked at me like I still mattered. Jimin's POV. The lights were too bright, too many people, too many eyes pretending not to stare. I adjusted my jacket, nervously standing near the edge of the hall where it was quieter. Music played softly in the background. Laughter echoed. Champagne glasses clinked. Everything looked perfect. Everything felt fake. I scanned the room without meaning to. I shouldn't have been looking for him, but I was. And then I saw him. Jungkook stood across the room, tall, calm, composed, but not alone. A woman stood beside him, smiling as she spoke, her hand lightly touching his arm as if she belonged there. I froze. For a second, I couldn't move. I don't know what I felt first. Confusion, then something heavier, something sharp, something I didn't want to name. My fingers tightened at my side. Jimin, quiet to myself. Oh. I looked away quickly, but my chest didn't stop hurting. Moments later, Jungkook's POV. I should have moved away. I should have stepped aside. But I didn't, because I saw him. Jimin, standing alone near the edge of the room, watching. Or maybe I imagined that part, but I felt it anyway, his eyes on me, then away. Like I had done something wrong. The woman beside me kept talking, laughing. I wasn't listening. All I could see was him. Then she leaned closer. too close, laughing again. Her hand stayed on my arm longer than necessary. And that's when I saw it. Jimin again, still watching, still silent. But his expression, it wasn't soft anymore. It was distant. Something inside me shifted. Event, later, Jimin's POV. I told myself not to look again, but I did, and I regretted it immediately. She was still there, still close to him, still smiling like she knew him, like she belonged in his space. And he didn't stop her, he didn't push her away. He just stood there, letting it happen. My throat tightened. Jimin whispering why. I didn't realize I was walking until I stopped myself. I couldn't do this, not here, not in front of everyone. So I turned away and walked outside. Hallway, night. Jungkook's POV. I followed him. I don't know why. I just did. The noise of the event faded behind me as I stepped into the hallway. And there he was, Jimin, standing near the window, looking out, silent, still, like he was trying to disappear into the glass. Jungkook, low Jimin. He didn't turn right away. That already hurt more than I expected. Jimin, quiet. You're busy. I froze slightly. That tone. It wasn't angry. It wasn't loud. It was worse. It was distant. Like I wasn't someone he could reach anymore. Jungkook, it's not what you think. Jungkook, lower, you think I care about her? Jimin didn't answer immediately. His voice came out quiet. Jimin, I don't know what to think anymore. That hit harder than anything else. For a second, just a second, Jungkook looked like he wanted to reach for him, to fix it, to go back, to Tokyo. But his hand stopped halfway and fell back down. Jungkook, quiet. I don't want anyone else. Jimin froze. That was the first honest thing he had said all night. But it came too late. Jimin's eyes softened for a second, then broke again. Jimin, it doesn't feel like that. Silence. Heavy. Final. Rain started again, soft at first. Then stronger. Jimin turned back toward the window. Jungkook stood behind him, neither speaking, neither moving. Two people standing, in the same space, but living in completely different worlds. Because jealousy wasn't the problem, it was the truth. Underneath it, that both of them still cared, and neither of them knew how to prove it anymore.